Hello everybody, can you hear me?
Hear you.
Yep.
Excellent. Good evening everybody. My name is Al-Ghandour. I'm professor at UMUC, University of Maryland University College. I want to welcome all of you, including my session students and my other fellow professors, students. Welcome all. Thank you for your time to attend our Data 620, Data Management and Visualization. This is our second Zoom session to introduce Python and Tableau. I hope you can see my screens. And I'll do my best to record this. It's kind of challenge a little bit from the Zoom. So I have to go and have another tools. Hopefully those windows will help us. If not, I will resize them. So this session will be recorded and a link will be sent to your professor and to my section as well to be added to your course materials. Please be sure you have your microphone or phone is muted unless you want to ask any question. At the end of the presentation, to make the classroom clear only for the instructor presentations. We really appreciate that and thank you for your time. Let's go ahead and start it. Welcome all. This is second session, and let's see. Excellent. Move on. Last week at the same time, we covered introduction to Python and how to write first program, how to do some correction for the errors, and we mentioned that Python is case sensitive, how to add comments, how to employ variables and to assign the variables. We did also last week how to obtain the user input using input statement and how you convert those variables to the correct data type. We did a couple of calculations, simple examples, and we did a couple of other operations. We'll continue the fun tonight with a portion in Python, and we did also first portion in Tableau where you connect to your data Excel, how you save the data source, and to understand a couple of Tableau terminology as well. And we did also how to work with the first chart. Tonight we'll continue this work and we'll work with a way that you can branch if statements. We're going to show you how to work with loops, for statements, how to define functions, which block of code that you need to work with, including try and except. We covered a little bit last week, but we'll go on again and again because we'd like to see all the code that you have always try and except. Also how to read and write files, and we'll cover a little bit high level about list and dictionary as well. We'll continue the second session. In this second half here, hopefully we'll be able to show you a couple of other charts like crosstab, tree maps, some geographic maps, some backed circles, and maybe some scattered as well. And really doesn't matter what chart you build at the end. The most important is to help to build a story, because at the end of this semester you'll be able to make a dashboard and to make a story to present about your projects. So welcome all of you, and let's go and start it. So in Python, usually you will work with if statement, and you can see this is general structure for the if statements, and where you have what we call it true or false structure. And if your statement are correct, if your expression that you evaluate is correct, that goes to the true statements, which is here. If your expression is false, go to the else structure as well, as you see it there. So definitely that's neat to see, and we interested to show you the way that works. There's a colon here, and there is like one tab which is by default for spaces. In Python, there's no braces like programming language, and we mentioned that last week, but again, we mentioned here. So there's no braces like open and close. The block using the colon and the space by itself, that's take care of that braces block. Here's your else block with the colon and the spaces. That's by itself give you also that structure, you see it there. What's happened if you have nested if, and that's where exactly where you're starting building some logic in your code, and that's exactly what you try to do. When you work with those, you will have elif. So elif is funny, it's like else if in other programming language, but in Python they call it elif. So this is where you can test the expression, and expression one maybe has possible couple of values. So that's one value, maybe this is the second value you want to test. So all these are true blocks until you hit the else, and that's where I call it the false block. Let's highlight very quick about the for statements. This is where talk about the loop, and this is where you define for keyword and in keyword. Then you have anything here, we call them variable, you can call them John Doe, you can call them ABC, IJK. And this is your collection or sequence that you try to work with. Again, remember it has need block, and there's no block here, braces. You are using colon, and that's by itself where the spaces give you the statements is part of that iterations. So let's see an example. Very simple example for I. So I is your iteration variable. Sequences is range 2 to 6, that's the sequence, that's your collection. You try to go from 2 to 6, and you try to print I, that's 2, and starting 2, then comma, which show you that concatenate with I times I, that's give you the 4 there. And definitely, as soon as you hit here, he go back, he didn't finish, he didn't expire the range yet. So 3, 9, 4, 16, 5, 25. This 6 mean it's n minus 1, which mean until you hit the 6, you get out. So the last one will be the 5. That's exactly when he now is in 6, 2 to 6, he's out, he's not inside that range. So here's where the range, if you're using range, for example, for specific number of iterations. So the general syntax of that, you start and stop and step. And by default, the step is 1, but you can change your step if you want to increase or decrease by minus or positive by 2 or 3 or 5, whatever you want. And remember, the stop is not included in your iteration. So from 3 to 10 mean 3, 4, 5, 6 to 9. From 0 to 4, 0 to 3. Minus 4 to 2, from minus 1, minus 4 to 1 as well. So definitely, that's where you want to work with the sequence. And this sequence can be anything. Can be a list, can be collection, can be a dictionary, can be a database, and so on. But this is just kind of show you a very quick, very simple kind of sequence or collection as well. So this is example where you will see that, and this is kind of population, and this is where will be interesting to see that. So let's go ahead and go through it, then we'll run it live very quick to show the result. So here we have the comments, and comments you can use 1 hash, 2 hashes, up to you. 1 hash is enough, but this is kind of declaration as well. So what you need to do, you need to define your variable called population, and this population about 300,000. Then now start working with the print statement. Now you have to be careful about the print statement when you do formatting. You can still working. This is I call the 2x format. You can use the 3x. Either is fine. So here the 2x you define like placeholder 0 and 1. And after the dot format, that's where's the year and population. So year is the 0, and the 1 placeholder as population. So this is called 2x format. In the 3x, you put the f outside, and you don't put 0 and 1, you put the variable right away, which is whatever variable you try to do, can be variable or be string as well. So here's the loop for year. Year is your iterative variable in the sequence, and let's say you want to calculate or forecast or project population from 2014 to 2019. Literally it is 2018, because remember we said this will not include it, so it's like this minus 1. So you'll go and do some formatting, and now you have those less than, greater than. This is just alignment, so you can align to the left or center or right using those special characters if you would. And again, you placeholder 0 after the dot format is the year, and the 1 is you round the population value that you get. So you get 2014, then you get the value that you printed first time. Then plus equal, which means that population equal population plus 3% of the new population, that's increased. So the new population will be increased by 3% from the old population, and that's where's the new value. I start getting that 2015 a new population increase until you hit 2018 and so on. Again, this is just comment to show you that you are doing this exactly like what you do there. Let me double check this one. 6. Okay. Functions. We're interested to work in functions, and this is a good practical and professional way where you start defining the functions. To work with functions, you are working with something called def. So def is like regular function keyword in Python. There's no function keyword in Python. The def is the function keyword in Python. So you define the function name, then you put parentheses. It's your call if you want to pass something as a parameter for the functions, or you can have it blank as well. And here's the colon as well. Then remember the space, which really one tab, and that's all the statements for that functions. So here we say print hello, and again you can use those %s as a placeholder for formatting to the name. So you can see the % string and the % variable. So whatever you pass that name, that will be string, and that's what will say hello, your name, my name, and Linda, and so on. To call the function, you have to be, again, you should be outside the statements here. You should be in the same level of the functions, and that's where the beauty of the function, you can call several times, say hello, 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 hello. So you can see every time you call that batch of functions, you pass different values and you get some different result as well. So this is where you see that running, and maybe we'll run those as well and so on. Try and catch or try and accept. There's no catch. Try and accept. And this is where we covered a little bit last week as well. It's very important to keep that. You protect your code, I call the body, and you raise the exception for something happen at the runtime. You will not stop your application, and definitely it worked very well to catch the error as you see it there. This is how it looks like. You can have several catches or except we call it. So you try certain statements, and if you know specific exception for specific file error or maybe array error or calculation error, divide by 0 and so on, you can raise those, or you can have just one will take care of everything. Finally, it's an optional. You can see anytime you see a square bracket means an optional in the syntax, which allow you to go ahead and kind what we call it reset the values. So if the try work statement will be executed, no errors, it will go to the finally and kind of reset the values if you would. So that's what's optional. But let's say you have a try, have some problems here, it will go and execute the correct exception. So we'll execute the statement, then because you have finally also you can reset the values as well. So finally it's an optional that you can work with. So here's just a sample, show you that integer input, give me an integer, and you put the number. So if you put 5, you are good to go. Then you say here's the number that entered, and you convert this number to string, so you get that back to the screen. That's what's 5. What's happened if you type 5, F-I-V-E, so this will raise an exception, and you don't want to see that, and that's what we asked to have try and accept. Otherwise you get those, and definitely that's not acceptable in any code. This is good for you, but not for deliverable your code. So definitely you need to protect your code always with a try and accept. So this is the error. It tells you that invalid total of integer. The 5 cannot convert it to number, to numeric, because you have an integer, and that's causes problems. So there's a big libraries coming from the classes, from the exceptions, and you can see that these exceptions are coming from big library, can be handling specific errors, and also can be difference from other sites where you can see environmental error or arithmetical errors or runtime errors and so on. This is how you open a file for reading or writing. In Python, very simple. It's kind of 3 steps. The first step is you pull this function from the library, from the IO, called open. Then you define the file name, and the file name, you give it file name extension. And if you have a path, you define the path as well, everything in double quotes or single quotes, it doesn't matter. Then you define the mode that it tell Python that do you want to open this for reading, so you put an R, do you want to open it for writing, for W, or do you want to go ahead and put it for append. Now if you're using binary, you can use the RB or WB for reading binary or writing binary. So you can see that's first step. You do the open statement. The second step, you do your business, whatever you want to do. Since we say W, so we open test.txt for W for writing. So that's by itself will handle writing. So what's happened, this thing returned or assigned to an object. I call this a file handler. This is an object file handler. You can call whatever you want. You can call it input, readme, write-me, whatever you want to call it. As soon as you get that object being successfully connected without errors, this object will be able to see the dot methods, and you see what are the methods, the functions under that library for the write. So now you say write welcome to Python, and when you do that, that will be written to this file. If this file not exist, the W will create it for you. If you want to do another line next time and you want to keep the old file, you have to go and change W to appending the data. So definitely it's cool to see that how it works. The third step is to close the file. So you take that out file, that's your file handler, and you close that. So this is very simple how to write. Definitely will be interesting to see how to work with as well with read. And you can see you have read lines, you have read lines give you a list, this give you a string, this is you can read give you a string, specific numbers, 50 line, whatever, and you can write which we saw it, and you close those. All right, so let's see if we can break this, and we can cover more things. Hopefully you can see. All right, so this is the Python. Remember, you get it from IDLE. If you type IDLE, you should see it there. Already I open it. So let's go and open a file. I have a couple of demos here. So let me go to the directory here. Let's see here. And let's go to E drive. And right away, we'll go here. I have them here. So let's go ahead and start with, let's go with the IO. So this is the IO, just to see it. So we have a variable here. We added more variables, more strings to the same variable. And here's your try. And you see the colon here, and this is where you have your file. Doesn't matter if you put it more space, but definitely you will not write it in this space. If you write in this space, mean they are on the same level. If you write it beyond that, that's fine. And usually you can keep that just simple in this corner. So open the file for writing, and you open and you write whatever you want. We write this, and then you close the file. Then we want to open it for reading, and then we'll go and now iterate. So you can go for every line in that file, print that line, and you should see it in the screen. Then you can have close, and this is where close will helping us to close the file. You can open it again just to show you for appending. So we don't want to lose this data, so we rewrite again but using appending, and we write Oscar, then by me, then you close again. For any reason that if we get an error, you will get exception, and this exception it's called value error, and you can give any message you like to the users. Then you can also return what we call it the error from the system, from the value error, or from the general exception. Again, you can put exception big E, and that will return the error for you, and you can have a blank line. So very simple. Let's see if it's work or not. Run this, and right away it's been written to us. And if I can go to the directory, just verify that, modify. Here it is, 3:18:8:24. That's correct the time. So we added right away there. So you can see it's written right away there. If we just change that here from A to W, so you see only the Oscar and my name. So let's double check that. There's a star there, meaning you have to save it, then run again. So it did print it. That's what we asked earlier. Well, let's see what's the action when we say W instead of append. So you go to the file again, and modify. Here you go. So you can see it wrote only the last thing because it's writing, which means create from scratch and not adding this back. So let's put it in A. So that's will do it again, and so on. So let's show you a couple of errors that maybe we will do things not good. So let's push this in the same level, and let's run it. Ask me save it. Yes. So you'll see this. So if you stuck something like this, you can read it very simple. It's a indent block. So definitely it's easy to fix. You don't have to worry about it too much more than you are incorrect tapping. So definitely you can see it tell you that. So if you push this guy only one tap, so he's under the try. And again, you can change the tab here how many spaces you like by configuring here, and all that are here, but usually I will keep them default as you see it there. So now when you run this, definitely it should be run, and the file should be generated again. Let's double check that. It is 826. I'm sorry, 826 here. So here's what's been added. All right, so that's good enough. So let's go ahead and look for another file. So I'll go and close this shell, and let's go functions. Even I just start from 5, that's okay. So here's the functions. I designed this a little bit than what you see there before. So let me push this here, kind of fit a bunch of windows here, sharing and recording as well. So definitely you will see you have main. So you can design this in a nice way. Main is the first function, no parameter, and then you say where's main. So you define the main in the top here. Def is the main. Here's the main and colon with parentheses exactly match here. Then you have the colon here. Then the tabs as we said. So this tells me all these are part of the function main. And what you do, you print blank line. Then you say go and get first name. And anytime you see parentheses, like 100% it's a function. And again, you can pass parameter or not. So now you say, where's that? Here it is, get first name. So here's another defined functions. And what it does, it will work and return a value, and this value will be back to the main first name. So definitely you expect to do some business here. Very simple. Enter your first name, and this first name will be returned. So now you can see there's a keyword reserved, and you can see the color kind of orange, whatever that color. So return reserved keyword for the definition function. So when you're calling this function, we return this variable will be shaped back to here. So now we got the first name. The same thing we do get last name. So now you can see define another function def get last name colon. Don't forget the tabs. Then do your business. I'm just receiving last name. Take this variable, return it back to this function. This function will be received by another variable. And remember, these variables are temporary here, and these are variable also temporary in the functions. Now, of course, you can make a global outside the variable, but that's not the scope here. Get currency, current currency. Here you go. Ask your salary, return it. This guy, now you got it there. Calculate the salary. Now we get this value, pass it here. So we're going to get your promotion or whatever that is. Calculate the new salary. Here it is, another def, and everything inside that. Then you pass that current salary, which is this variable, which you received before from other functions. And this guy is here. And now you make some logic. If this less than 40,000, so let's give you 5%, and return this result. As soon as this return is done from the function, he come back here, and the new value will be new salary. Now it is more than 40,000, so you have to go to the else. Then we'll do some symbol logic, whatever that means. We give it 2,000 plus 2%, whatever that difference. And now you return this value. So this return value coming from these functions, which is here, and you see it there. Then we'll take these values, first name, last name, and new salaries. So now we design a function with 3 parameters. You can see the comma there. So you go back, you design this, here it is. 1, 2, 3 parameter, just nothing more than print statement. You don't need to return. Do the job here and you're done. So this is where you will return. Now again, return 0. You're gonna look for that. That's the 2x format. Format first name, the 1 placeholder for the last name, and again you can do that. Here's the new salary as well. And if you want to do this in 3x, let me do it live here just to show you, and I'll leave that to you. So what you do, you're going to do an F outside. There's no more function anymore. You take the format out. You bring this double quote to the end. Then there's no zeros anymore. And 1, no placeholders. And what you do, instead of we want first name, let's take those from here. It's kind of rewrite-ed. It's okay, let me do it. Control X, and let's put this guy here, and this guy here. Let's So there is no comma between them. The comma is not for the variable, just saying first name, last name. So it's covered now. Then this is, you can say new salary. You can write that if you want, a new salary. Remember, everything in the string, you can write whatever you want. Here, new salary. Now here's the format. Again, there's no placeholder. You put right away the variable that you're interested here. Then you have the format, and that should do it, hopefully. And that's lock it there for you. And be sure this braces, that's correct, and you close it. So this is, I call it 2x format of Python. This one is 3x. So definitely use a 3x, but you can do either one is correct. All right, let's see if I make any typo here. So let's go and run it. All right, I messed up something there. Internet connection unusable. Let's see what that means. Let's see. All right. Anytime you touch something, we'll break it for you. Say this. All right, invalid. Let's see. I think this problem here. Let me see. All right, let me reopen it. Let me copy this guy. I don't know why he's not happy with it. All right, so let me write it as is. See, it's oh, that's the IO. We don't need that. Yeah, let's open again. Sometimes your IE, you have to refresh it here. Alright, let's open this guy. Alright. We have functions. Okay. Alright, so let's see if we still have some issues. Alright, he's not happy with this at all. Alright.
Before the first name, there's an extra parenthesis.
Which here?
Before the first name.
Oh, for the first name here?
Before first name, there's an extra parenthesis.
All right. In the main here?
No.
It's in the function, sir. You know how you have a display result function?
Yeah.
And go to the second print statement. Look at the first name variable there. How you have the second print statement there. Yep. No, go down.
Down.
One more. Yep.
Oh, here.
That's the function. Yep. If you look at the second print statement and you see the first name. Yep, right there. First name.
Oh,
you have that.
This one. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, when you touch it, you cause some problem. Okay, let's see if this helps. Thank you. There you go. Thank you. That's help. So here you go. And here's salary. And now you can see you got the format, the 2x and the 3x. And thank you guys. I didn't see it quick here. But yeah, definitely completely different. You can see the formatting between those two. Excellent. Good catch. All right, so let's see. Go do one more. Okay, let's see. Day of the week. Let's see what's that. All right. So this one, let me close this one here. So this one, where you build what we call a list, and the list that you can put any data as soon as you put them in a square bracket. And you have, I think, when you have one of the lab, we ask you to do a list for your assignment. So the list, you can have an empty list that you don't have nothing in it, or you can start specifying the data by using the comma. You can have numbers. So here just sample, just kind days of the week. So this is your list now, and then we're going to ask, can synchronize a trick here to say, give me the number of the week. Then I'll display it back to you from the list if it's Sunday or Monday. So very simple logic. You just kind of take the remainder of 7. So that's give you the number after you get it and convert it to integer. Then now again you can see you can pull functions here. Just call right away. You call the index. So index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So if you run this as is, let me close this. We run it again. So you can see the shell as pop up here and say, give me 5. So 5 is a Friday. Assume that Saturday is 6 and 7 is Sunday. So definitely this is a very quick exercise to show the list. But of course I didn't do try and except. So let's say you type 5, you get that. We don't want you to see that at all, and that's cause a problem when you see it as you see it there as well. Very good. All right, that's good enough. All right, Tableau, the second section. We'll go ahead and do a couple of these. So let me go ahead. I think I need switch here. So just give me a second here. So I'll go and share with my other machine here, where I have a Tableau. All right, can you see it? I can see it from my second machine, but I want to confirm that. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Perfect, thank you very much. All right, so let's wrap what we did last week. We did connect. This is exercise we did last week. So we got Excel connected, and we drag the file, one of the sheets, and we said that here are the data. We explain the hash are numeric, ABC are letters, and you can see all of those very nicely. You can see the orders as well as a global because it's a state. You can see sales and other measures. So definitely that's where we did last week. We starting sheet by sheet, we rename the sheet like Excel, and as soon as you rename it, it's coming here. You can double click on it. That's the sheet name. You can add more things. That's what we did last week. And we drag. You have a couple of ways to drag. This is your dimension. That's your measure. That's kind of star schema, if you would. So here's dimension. Here's the measures. And this is exactly what we tried to accomplish by dragging things around. You can drag it to the column, to the rows, or you can drag it to the visualization area. We did filter last week as well. You drag it here and you have to say show me the filter. If it didn't show me the filter, you cannot see it here, so you have to go and say show me the filter, And with doing that, you have a couple of things you can do. You can have slider, or you can have select specific type from the drop here. You can say I like to have a multiple list. So now you can see you can turn off and on. So we did all that last week, kind of refresher, very quick. And we did that, which is perfectly. You can take it back to slider. So you have a couple of choices. You can see single value, or you can have a wildcard, or you can have a slider. I like to keep slider. You can reverse this. So you can see you can have the bar from vertical to horizontal. You can sort. So this is good when you start working with Pareto chart. You have to label them or histograms. So that's give you a nice trick there to work with it. We did also like a tree map like this. And all of these are show me here if you missed that. Sorry, these are in the middle. So here they are. You can have different colors like this. You can have back to here. You can have a circles. So you can have if box plot work very well. So you can see you can have two bars with the groups. So definitely very nice and very cool. You can duplicate things by right click and you say duplicate this. I like it. So now you can have two charts, and this one here you can rename this. For example, you'll say this is circles or bubbles. Right? So when you see that, you can now change this guy here. So definitely that's helping you to visualize more charts and work with that. So you start working with a lot of charts, as you see there. You can say, hey, give me another chart, and we're interested to do maybe maps. And the maps, they are here, and very cool. Anytime you hop over these, they give you kind of tips what exactly minimum to make this chart enable. You see they are disabled until you start filling one of these requirements to make that chart. So if you need histogram, they say histogram try 1 measures. So now you know these are dimensions and measures. So if you say, okay, I'm interested in measures, so you can write here. Now he's happy there. You click on him. Now he make you a very nice histogram, and you can see the data for this exercise or this data set. It's kind of not normal, you know. It's just kind of skewed to the right side, if basically. So definitely those where you can play with the size. So now you can get that bin, and I think that's one of the things you can do also in the homework. So this is called bin. As soon as you hit that histogram, he generates for you bin. So you took that cells from measure kind of histogram symbol. You see that? So you can change this size manually if you would, and you say edit the bin size, and now you can suggest certain bins. That's what suggests, or you can say, well, you know what, let's make 500. Again, I don't know if this will fit or not, but let's give it a shot. Then definitely you can see it's screw more, so definitely you probably need more than that or less than that. So you can control these. So let's say 5,000. So now you can see the bar size, little bit difference. The bin size, you know, that 5,000, you see that 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, so on. So you can play with that for that sheet. Always, I love to see my students, especially in my section, that you type the sheet name. So it's more professional, you know, to give the sheet name. Of course, you can split out all. And now when you view this, the whole thing, entire view, so definitely you can see it's histogram, and here's your histogram basically as well. All right, so this is cool. So let's go back. We said we want to do the map. We didn't do the map. We just dumped in the histogram. So here we go to the map. So let's call this map, whatever, sales map. Sales maps maybe. And now think about what exactly the maps need. I need geocode, and you can see that symbol geocode here. Definitely state, also another geocode. So you have two geocode in this data set. We're interested on the geocode here, so you dump it there. As soon as you dump it, that will go and build that what we call latitude and longitude, because it's already geocoded this data, and it will go and try to give you the map in the back with the dot, the state symbol. So definitely now we can see these are enabled here. Then you say, do I need a symbol map? And you can read that symbol map, or you can need a map which is fulfill map. So it's your call what exactly you are looking for. And if you're looking for kind of fill map like this, or just a symbol like that. So let's say it says we want the fill map. So now we need another parameter, measures. What you try to show here, we try to show profit. So you can dump profit here, basically here, and now you will you can get kind of more color. A little bit slow here with 5 things open. So now we can see the color of the profit for that. And if you remove that show me in the back, that's where exactly you'll see the scale or the legend of that profit. You can change this manually. You can go edit color, and then you can select the scale value. You can select or you can change the edit for the color value as well. So there's a lot of good options you can do. So they give you a lot of good stuff, especially if you do accessibility, usability, if assuming you publish this to the web. So definitely look for these, all helping you to see certain colors. So let's just pick up that. You can step to 5 scales, colors, 3 scales. You can change that whatever you want. You can reverse the orders, and you can have advanced, start value, end value, center values, or you can reset everything back and apply and okay. So definitely this is a cool things you can do when you work with that. One of these here, what you see, labels. So let's say you want to show the sales to the T, so you dump it there, and when you're done you see that very cool, very nice sales representative. That's acceptable. It's not crowded, not congested, so it's not bad to see that, but be careful. If you dump labels, you don't want to be in the top of each other. One of the cool things, you can format this as well. You can drop down here, format. So there's a lot of very tips here, hopefully helping you to see that. So as soon as this up, you can change this guy to currency, and you can say custom. I don't need decimals. When you talk about thousand, a million of dollar, definitely decimal doesn't make difference. And very nice information. And you can also close this and say, hey, give me the profit as details. So you see details, tool tab, labels. So you have flexibility to do very beautiful, nice presentations on Tableau. And you can see that. So when you hop over here, he tell you that we know the sales, these are the numbers which match 1,161,721 sales, and the profit is 86. And you can see 86 is not formatted, so you can go backward here very quick, format, and you can format everything from the field one time here, so you don't need to do like 5 steps. So you can work with those. Currency, no zeros, and boom. So now when you talk about Colorado, for example, you can make a story, very nice, and work with that. All right, the last thing I want to do, what we do, we call dashboard. So you see there are button there, dashboard, and the new story. So let's build the dashboard. The dashboard is composite of several sheets that you build, and here they are. So now you can think about I'm building dashboard. So you can again please label these, call them DB sales if you want, call them whatever you want. So these are the dashboard. Then you can have web page. You can connect with blank pages. You can put the buttons, text, very cool stuff. You can have an image in your presentation. You can have horizontal. Then think about what exactly try to make a story there. So we're interested on this guy here. So drag the first sheet, and maybe you drag the second one, and you can see the position. You can go left, right, top, all these corners, and then you release it. So let's put it in this corner here, and then you can make a story there, and you can resize these things. Again, you can see in the dashboard you can have, in my view, maximum 4, otherwise we'll be very busy. You can create another dashboard, so you're not limited with the dashboard. So dashboard 2, let's call it DB Maps, maybe, I don't know, anything of these. And you can drag your maps. If you have a bunch of maps, you can put them the same. You can have one maps. Let's have another one. And this is maybe we'll talk about DB histograms, statistics, whatever. So call them whatever you want. So you can see now we got 3 dashboard. So let's dump this. And if you have multiple of them, you can add another one. Maybe you want to put again this guy together here. You can do that. So again, you can resize. So now you have story there, you have filters. So when you're done, you go to the last one. We call it the story. So you see that last button there. Of course, you can go from here, worksheet, story, new work, and story, new story. But they are there just for shortcut. Here's the story. So, I click sheet. Just can delete that. So here's the story. So it's called story 1. Definitely you don't want to call it story. You want to call it my annual executive report, my sales report, whatever you want to call it. And you can see here's like slideshow, add the caption. So you have a blank. So here's one. Okay. So did we lost you guys? I see the other screen. All right. Looks like I lost you there. All right, so okay, I lost my machine here, so let's go back here. Let's see. All right, so the slideshow is really nothing more than you go to the story. For some reason, I lost the connection here. So you go just very quick. You go to your. Let me see if I can have the slideshow here. There you go. So let's do it here. Can you see my PowerPoint?
Yes.
Excellent. So so here's the dashboard which we did. Then here's the slideshow based on the version. Just add captions here, or maybe blank. It was in the new versions. And when you do, just drag the dashboard. So in summary, the dashboard is consists of the sheets, and the story is really your dashboard. You cannot drag the sheet itself. You have to have the dashboard itself as well there, and you can have a bunch of options you can do. Again, if this is in the other version here, you can add, and then you're done from the story, and you can do slideshow like you see there, and you can put this in a slideshow, and you can start talking about the dashboard, which is you can play with the filters and work with those. Excellent. I saw a chart in the back here. All right. Any question? It's about the time here, but let's see if any questions. All right, I have 9 chats here. Let's see. So only the screen Tableau. We cannot hear you. I can hear him. Sorry for that. Okay, you cannot hear him. Would you like to know? Yes, we will pause the video. Could you share your Python code? Yes, I will. So there is nothing more than just, I'm sorry, some people they have trouble to hear me, but others they said they hear me. All right, if you have a question, go ahead and hit me in the microphone or your phone or your Zoom before we lock it for tonight. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
I wanted to know where you posted the first recording.
Where I post what?
Where you posted the first Tableau and Python recording last week.
Are you in my class?
Yes.
I did post it. I posted in YouTube. And there's if you check in the announcement, I put it there. And I think if you check also the discussion about my professor, I think Adam, he asked about it, and I posted again. If you still have a problem, you can find it, just email me or talk to Christiana.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And we have a problem with recording. You can see I wasn't able to record from the Zoom. You can see that when I say record, give me that. So I'm using my hopefully the Snagit hopefully will work. And for some reason it doesn't work. I will post the last session, so it doesn't matter really. Good, excellent question. Other questions? All right, thank you very much for your time. I hope this recording will work, and keep good work, my team. And let's see if there's a chat quick here. Thank you, appreciate that. All right, guys, thanks a lot. All right, I'll go ahead and stop sharing, and I hope I will go and save it for you. Thank you, have a great night, and talk to you later.